You like that, Rick? Those little,
Yeah.
that's better than that. I don't know what that other music was that I was jamming to. You know that. What was it a while back? That beat that you didn't like that I had on there.
Was
kind
it
of
hip hop?
That was that kind of that lo-fi. You know what I'm saying? That boo-doo-doo. Kay liked it. She actually sent me. She said, "Can you please try to play that lo-fi beat that you were playing the other day?" She said, "I really like that beat."
I don't think she knows that word.
Well, I was just making up stuff. Am I doing a pretty good job this
Yeah,
morning?
No.
because I believed it.
Oh man,
I
welcome
had-
in.
I thought that was a real word.
Welcome in, everybody. So we get rolling here on another edition of Good Morning Huntsville. You know, I did a bunch of pre-checks with the system, Rick,
Yeah.
and maybe you can help me because you're kind of an IT guy, right?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Little bit more the hardware kind.
Windows 11 or Windows 10, both of them have issued updates over the. You know how updates are; they're always fun, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's a new one that they've done a while back, and it likes to take control. And I don't understand this. Okay, maybe we can throw this into the Monday mind, even though the Monday mindset isn't this. The Monday mindset is for me, is going to be, it's all good, all is well. This week, all is well. Despite what comes my way, all is well. That's my encouragement. We got a really good Monday mindset with Kaye. But here's the problem.
Oh, you read it?
Yes. Here's the problem. Windows has done something that they like to do, and it's called let's adjust automatically the microphone volume.
Yeah.
So even though I drag it over, and let's make sure they don't blow people's ears out. Okay, there we go. Even though I drag it over, this little meter here, it decides that it likes to do what it wants to do. And you'll see it. It'll just start hopping. Right here, I have it at 70. Now, we didn't hear anything in our ears.
No.
But it's what the computer hears. And so what will happen is this little thing will just start moving on its own, even though I've told it, don't do that. Microsoft, thank you. That's how we're going to start this Monday.
Can you roll back that update?
I wish I could roll back my stomach, but I can't, you know. It's
Well, you can. It's called diet and exercise.
Hey.
Or a girdle?
Girl. Hey, some good news this morning, by the way. I've lost almost 10 pounds, actually.
Really?
Yes.
I found it.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Appreciate you picking it up, helping me out.
No problem.
Well, hey, friends, here we are. Welcome in on a marvelous Monday. As always, such a joy and a privilege to be able to hang out with you on Monday as we get started on another edition of Good Morning Huntsville. Today it is episode 596. We are trekking closer to Friday. It's going to be our 600th episode extravaganza.
And it's going to be
At Cafe Texan. Oh, can you say it like that, Rick?
at Cafe Texan.
Oh, that was really good. Yeah, it was
Thank you very
really
much.
good.
I've been practicing all week.
Couple things that I'm thankful for this morning. One, I'm looking forward to that. One, I'm thankful to have common sense, Rick. I'm thankful to I'm thankful to just be involved in the community. I love our community,
Yeah.
and I'm thankful to be a native Texan.
I am too.
So I just wanted to.
I have all those things.
I know. I saw him this morning, and I said, I love that. That's what it's about. So.
That's because my campaign manager put them on there.
I love it, man. That it
Things
is.
I would have never thought. I mean, I'm a native Texan, but I would never thought to tell people that.
Hey, you know what, man? I remember back in the day, I made this. I don't know. I was like 19, being goofy, and I took a presidential portrait of George Bush, the son.
Yeah.
CK, you'll like this. This was like inspiring me as a young person. Okay. Well, back then we didn't have all this AI stuff. And so what I did is I erased George Bush's face and I put mine in there. I put mine over his body with his suit on and his tie and his presidential photo. And then I said, Rob for mayor. I made my own campaign. And it said, native leadership for a growing community or something
There you go.
corny like that,
I like it.
But I
Did you get elected?
No, I never decided not to do that. I said, no, I'm not going to do that. So, but it was fun. Someone at the chamber, it was right when I'd started my computer business, someone at the chamber was like, you ought to run for mayor, young man. I said, okay.
You really ought to.
So I made what I did is I made the flyer, and then after I looked at it, I said, no, I can't. For me, it just wasn't the right thing. So, but hey, we're excited. We're looking forward to Friday. It's going to be a great day. We're going to have the show live at Cafe Texan. So you're going to be able to hop in, drop by.
I think so.
My wife is in charge of my schedule, and I don't know.
It's your bookie.
Let's see.
So this Friday, we're encouraging everybody to be there with us. Come hang out with us at Cafe Texan. Billy Cawthon really wants a confetti and a balloon drop.
Does he?
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be able to do all that.
Well,
It is on your agenda now.
okay.
It's there.
It's on my schedule.
There will be the world famous Rick's Bacon. that just doesn't sound right, you know. Rick's Bacon. You better go.
You ought to throw them for a loop and order that Friday.
Don't have a cow. I haven't ordered Rick's Bacon in probably 3 or 4 months.
We went. There used to be a place. Well, it's still there in Georgetown. It's called. Can't even think now. Boy, it's a place I used to go to all the time. El Torito. El Torito's world famous breakfast tacos. So famous. Y'all have heard of them here in Huntsville? No, you haven't. So it's not really world famous.
Okay, citywide famous.
Yeah. Second Street block famous. El Torito. Jesus runs that, and he and his brother, they used to have a little food trailer. They'd roll around through the park and sell it, and they got so popular. Their breakfast tacos really are some of the best. That's why I kept telling Delphina, I was like, Delphina, you got to get a taco truck to drive around town. I mean, I think breakfast tacos would go over really well here in Huntsville. And I know that you can go pick them up at some places, but I'm talking about a little truck that drives around, and you just have like 3 or 4 different varieties.
You mean like an ice cream truck?
Kind of, yeah. But they had a little Mazda pickup truck. He'd just drive it around. They got so busy doing that they got a couple of them, and they'd show up at work sites. There was businesses that were so used to them coming that they would show up every morning to those businesses at these office buildings, and people would come out and buy tacos. Really, and he only had like 3 or 4 different varieties on that truck, but it was so popular, everybody did it. And he had a warmer in the back of the tailgate. You know, he converted it all, and that was the warmer where they kept them all warm as they drove around town. The reason I brought that up is I thought a lot about Jesus this morning for some reason as I got up, and I said, you know, man, I miss those tacos. We need to have some tacos like that here in Huntsville to get our day started. So world famous tacos.
So we need to talk to Delphina.
We need to talk to Delphina. That's the rule this morning. The charge, the call to action. Talk to Delphina. Get the tacos going this morning.
I'll see her this evening.
Make that statement if you don't mind.
I will.
By the way, Kaye, y'all go do something pretty cool on Mondays over there. A little trivia going on.
Yeah. Trivia Monday at Rodeo Mexican Cafe.
Who do y'all sit with? Is it different people each time, or do y'all have y'all's own kind of set team?
We kind of have a set team, but anybody's welcome, I suppose.
Yeah.
Troy Beatty and Rachel Geek and Jason Brandolini and his wife.
Oh, cool. Jason's coming.
Well, he comes sometimes.
Awesome.
It's not every week. I mean, some weeks we miss.
We went a couple times, and Karen Denman's so sweet.
She is.
Well, I say this because we had like a 30, and she's like, y'all are doing so well. Everybody else had like 200 points, and Bridget had 30. Now, to defend Bridget, it wasn't her, it was me. I'm the one that's like, no, that's the right answer. Everything I said was wrong. So
that's what Troy says to me. When you say it with such confidence, then you're wrong.
That's the way it works. Well, hey, we do want to welcome you. Do us a favor this morning. Let us know that you're out there. Big thank you, as always, to Elliot's Jewelers, Elliot Herzlich. He's online at elliotsjewelers.com. And a special thank you as we are here on this marvelous, magnificent, any positive word you can think of that starts with an M, Monday. Big thank you to Rick and Kaye Boehning of Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools. They've been serving this area for many, many years now, okay? Many, many years. Almost
a day or two.
3 decades.
Almost 3 decades. Yeah, one day that logo is going to be updated quicker than you know it with 30 on there.
Don't tell me about it. I remember it was 25.
But it's great. 3 locations to serve you here in Huntsville, and I know there are some openings, and so make sure you go to tomorrowspromise.info if you're looking for excellent child care. It's not a daycare. Daycare, Kaye's taught me this. Daycare is where you go and just hope your children are okay when you go back and pick them up. It's just where they go, and they kind of sit around all day.
Watch TV.
Watch TV.
That's terrible.
Did you ever hear, Kaye, about this? I think I was mentioning this with Jason Bay on Thursday. Maybe I wasn't. I don't remember. There was a guy that was in a serious car accident, some sort of accident that paralyzed him, and basically turned him. People say that word vegetable, but I don't like to say that because it just doesn't.
Was he a quadriplegic?
Yeah, he couldn't talk, he couldn't move anymore. He would blink his eyes. I mean, he had he could breathe, but that was about it. And they kept him alive, and thankfully they did. And here's what I'm telling you, because. For 12 years, they set him in front of Barney, just in front of the TV. That's all they did. And this was I don't want to say it was like a child, but I mean, he was a young, probably junior high or so. And for whatever reason, they put him in front of Barney all day. Well, one day, this is why compassion is so important, especially in our nursing industry. I have so much respect for nurses. Obviously, Bridget's a nurse, but my mom was a nurse, and many people in our family were nurses. And by the grace of the good Lord, this lady, a nurse, had noticed that he was blinking almost in communication. And over time, she was able to communicate with this young man through blinking. They developed a system to where he could communicate with her easily. They got to a point to where, and it took a while because it's kind of like the alphabet,
Yeah.
the letter A is 3 blinks, the letter B, something like that. Over time, they developed an effective communication, and he told her, I am sick and tired of watching Barney. He goes, I've been in front of this thing for 12 years, and you have no idea what it's like for me to be trapped inside my own mind. You think about how scary that is. For somebody to still be fully aware and hear and see, but don't have control of their body. Really difficult to communicate. Didn't communicate for 12 years. Maybe tried to. Said he tried to, but no one noticed. And now he's written books and all sorts of things by the power of blinking in his eyes. But that one nurse was so compassionate and realized that there was something going on that helped that man, in a way, escape out of his mind. But can you imagine that case sitting there for 12 years? I mean, that's got to be scary to think about that. And I don't know why I brought that up. I think it's because we were talking about daycare. And to put someone in front of a TV, when you think about that guy, he couldn't react. I mean, and he was absorbed by this. And you can only imagine a child throwing them in front of a TV for so long. Now, obviously the children are going to communicate, most of them, and they're going to get zombied into it. But I was thinking about you again the other day, Kaye, because as we were driving, I was telling my buddy Nathan, who was with me this weekend, we went to go broadcast some games, and I had Braylon with me the next morning on Saturday morning. She wanted to ride with me to go get something to eat. And so I said, well, hop in, Braylon. And so Nathan and I and her rode. And I told Nathan, I said, you don't see a screen back there, do you? He said, no, you don't have one? I said, no, I don't have one. And I explained why. And as we were driving, Braylon was communicating with me. She was like, oh, Daddy, look, airplane. There's something to that, Kaye.
Yeah.
Children need to be able to be aware of their surroundings and know what's going on in the world. And that's what I love about, I'm tying all this back into Tomorrow's Promise, because y'all do such an excellent job of children being hands-on and being aware of what's around them. And I love that. I love that our children are able to explore the world and not explore this world that they get sucked into. And I'm just going to be honest. I'm not judging, but I'm just telling. Is that okay? Can we tell? It's not. Sometimes people take telling as judging. Get rid of the tablets with the little handles that have the cool little designs, please. Quit walking into the restaurant with those, with 4 kids around you, and every one of them has a tablet. Please do that, parents. You're not benefiting your children at all. In fact, it's detrimental to their early childhood development. I feel like an expert now because I've been sitting next to Kaye for a couple of years now.
Well, sadly, our great nephews do that. They walk around with those things all the time.
You got to get rid of them.
I don't have any control over it, or I would.
Come on, Rick. No, not you. But I want to challenge parents, and I do want to. I always forget. Is it like sympathize or empathize? It's sympathize, right? I want to sympathize. I can't even talk this morning. But I feel you.
Are you talking about empathy?
Yeah, empathy. Maybe I have a little empathy for you. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Not sympathy, but empathy.
Yeah.
I feel you. When the kids are screaming.
Well, I mean,
You're at
you're
your
in the
wit's
same
end.
situation, so you can empathize because, you're
You've
there.
got small children.
Whereas Rick and I have to sympathize because they didn't
We
have
had
that.
small children.
But they didn't have that when we were.
Yeah. when our kids were little, we didn't have
yeah,
tablets.
they didn't have that, so we didn't have the choice.
Get them a colored book and hope for the best.
I have empathy for the parents because I understand what they're going through. I know what it's like to sit down at a restaurant and the kids start screaming and going nuts, and your first reaction is, I got to get these kids quiet. And it's easy. It's so easy to push something like this and zombify your kids. But the reality is that short-term little pleasure, I guess, the dopamine in their brain that gets released from watching and seeing a screen, That's short-lived.
Well, they're coming out with all kinds of studies daily on how it affects your brain and brain development and your social skills and your social interactions and how
Yeah,
the
but how do you
society,
explain me? Because I didn't grow up with one of those.
the society we're creating
Mm-hmm.
with all these shootings and things like that. How many, I mean, when I was a child, it was how many murders you watched on TV.
Yeah, wow.
You know, was a big deal. Now you've got all these Call of Duty and
Yeah, where you go around shooting people.
different Grand Theft Auto and stuff like that. All these games that are actually promoting that kind of thing, and how many people can you kill and stuff, and it's desensitizing people.
I'll tell you, the new one you mentioned these games is Grand Theft Auto 6 has been on hold for a long time, and that game I think is going to be really not a good thing. I've seen I have a video game website as a hobby, and so we write news and report on, I don't, but we have contributors that put stuff on the website, and I've seen previews for it and trailers for it. I'm like, yikes, that one's going to be tough. And I'll be honest, as a young person, I just got to be honest. There's something in those games that makes you want to play them.
Mm-hmm.
As a young person, I couldn't wait to get my hands on those games and play them. So just be careful of all those kind of things, and make sure your children are engaged with you and with their surroundings. And I think a lot of good things are going to happen from that. But we got to be careful, okay? We got to be careful. And thank you for bringing to light to me the dangers of all this stuff. I know we talk about it quite a bit, but I'm always going to talk about it, because if we can reach one person on a Monday morning that says, you know what, Rob, I do that with my children, and I don't take offense to what you're saying. You're right. I've been waiting for somebody to acknowledge that this isn't a good thing, and I'm going to stop doing it. And
If you have any doubts, take it away from them, see what kind of fit you get,
Yeah.
and that'll tell you right there.
And I'm not advocating like no watching anything at all. My children watch stuff maybe 15 minutes a day. But here's what's cool about it. If they're watching something, and usually it's at night right before they take a bath, Bridget and I are kind of tidying up the house and getting ready to give them a bath. And so Braylon will go, and it's a Facebook portal thing, and we've got it locked on a kids mode for YouTube. And we know what's on there because we've pre-programmed it. We can see what's on there. But I love this because I'll say, Braylon, it's time for a bath. She doesn't, very, very rarely. I'm not going to say she's this perfect little angel, even though I think she is. She's my daughter. But very rarely will she throw a fit. I would say 95% of the time she'll say, okay, Daddy, and she knows she'll flip it over, she turns it off, and she goes takes a bath. And it's because we've set boundaries within that. If you just give a child this unlimited supply, boy, they're going to take all they can get. And it's not going to be good as they get older. I wanted to mention this one thing. We're going to take a break. Brandon Godfrey, a good friend of mine, is going to join us remotely here in just a few moments to talk about an awesome group that he's got going on Facebook. I wanted to mention this because autism is – I don't know a lot about autism other than what I hear on the news, and I don't watch the news a whole lot. But apparently there's supposed to be a big announcement. I don't know if y'all caught that yesterday or not, but apparently there's supposed to be a big announcement from the White House today about some things that they found about autism. I don't know the true stats. I know I heard something that back in the 70s it was like 1 in 100,000 children, and now it's 1 in 12 in boys and 1 in 20 in little girls that have some sort of autism. And as I heard those numbers, again, I didn't fact check it, so take it with a grain of salt what I'm saying, but as I heard those numbers, I started thinking, how much does the technology influence have to do with that? It made me wonder. Maybe there's a link there, maybe there's not. But I started to think that maybe there's got to be some sort of link with kids being glued to this stuff that could be doing something to early childhood development. Do you have any insight onto that, Kaye?
They also are saying there's links to taking Tylenol when you're pregnant. And then also marijuana use is affecting sperm and eggs. So the marijuana you use as a teenager and things like that's changing your body too.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot to take away, a lot to digest, and we'll keep our eyes tuned into the news today to see what that news is. Before we take that quick break and bring Brandon on, I wanted to circle back. Yesterday was such a powerful, and I don't say this from a political standpoint. I'll say it from the standpoint of the Holy Spirit and our Lord. such a powerful day yesterday. As Charlie Kirk's life was honored, there was over almost 70,000 people there in Arizona at the stadium. Another 150 or so from what I've read online this morning. Rick and I were talking about it too, that there's close to 300,000 people that came just to that area to celebrate the life and remember the life. And when his wife Erica got up to speak, it was one of the most touching, powerful speeches that I've ever heard from someone that's going through so much grief and anguish. And Rick, you and I were talking. I mean, we won't go into the details, but we'd be pretty.
I would not have the grace that woman does.
Yeah, I'm telling you. She got up there and she spoke so elegantly, but she spoke from the heart. And I feel like she spoke from the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit was speaking through her yesterday. And as she spoke, one thing that stood out to me is she said, I forgive the person who killed my husband. Forgive him. For those of us this morning that are watching that are Christians, that's Jesus Christ in a nutshell.
Yep.
Forgiveness. Despite any type of thing that comes our way, forgiveness. And I posted last night as I was thinking about this, and I wanted to just touch on this very briefly because I think it is so important. I posted this last night as I was laying down, and I thought about things in my own life that maybe I've been petty about. Maybe there's been some things in my life that I need to let go of. She said right here, she said, I forgive him, talking about her husband's assassin. I forgive him because it was what Christ did and is what Charlie would do. And I said right here, this woman forgave the man who killed her husband. And to me, I felt if she can do that, all of us can let go of past grudges and set our egos aside. We can look past the pettiness. Doesn't mean it didn't happen. Doesn't mean that stuff didn't happen. But some of it's petty. Some of it's really petty. But there's other things that are really serious, like this, that she was able in that moment, as she wore her husband's literally blood-stained cross necklace, to say, I forgive you. And I think that's a message for all of us this morning. You know, forgiveness doesn't mean it didn't happen, but forgiveness allows us to move forward. We'll never get over it. Joshua Harris taught me this from the Oak Ridge Disciple House. Those that suffer with addiction, you'll never get over the addiction, but you learn to get through the addiction. And I think the same way. You'll never get over the hurt, the pain, the grief, but you'll learn to get through it. And I think somebody this morning needed to hear that. Brandon's going to talk to us about his group called Carry the Burdens, and maybe some of that will relate in a way. But it was pretty powerful yesterday, Kaye, to see so many people come together.
Yep.
It's beautiful.
It was. And, you know, it was written in the book of life when you're going to be born and when you're going to die. And so that was his moment to die. He could have died of a heart attack, a car wreck, or the way he died. And I think God's using the way he died to make a difference.
I agree.
And I think that's where she can get some of that forgiveness from, is knowing that that was his time and what's God doing with it. I mean, just look what God's doing with it.
Somebody had told the other day, I saw something scroll across, you know, you see random people that you're not friends with on Facebook, and they got that little check mark next to their name because they pay the big money to get their verification. I think it's like $20 a month or something. I don't know.
Don't look at me. I'm poor.
Rick's got a gold check mark next to his. But I was scrolling through, and I talked about it on the show last week. Somebody had said we're in need of a spiritual revival, and my first thought was, man, where are you at?
Yeah.
Because we're seeing it, and we've been seeing it, and we're seeing it more and more and more. And what I'm seeing out of it is not a message of hate and a message of separation. I see it as a message of unity and people coming together. That's what I'm experiencing. And I'm experiencing it with friends from all different walks of life. I'm experiencing it with friends from different political sides. But if we get into this mindset of only seeing the negative and only seeing the division, then what are we going to talk about? That's all we're going to talk about. Yeah. Choose this morning to see the unity. And if there's things in your life, if there's people in your life that are creating separation, leave those people. I'm not telling you to to get up. I'm not talking about a marital thing. I'm talking about if there's any type of separation or any type of negativity from people that you're surrounding yourself with, leave them. Doesn't mean you hate them. Just get away from it, because we become products of our environment. And if all we're soaking in is negative every day, then guess what we're going to put out? Negative. The mornings that I come in, Kaye, I come in sometimes I come in and I'm gruntled. You've seen me a little disgruntled before. And you know why? It's because I didn't have gratitude when I woke up. I chose to allow the world to infiltrate me and to allow little petty things. And some of them may have not been petty. I don't want to keep saying that. But I've allowed things to set me in a wrong attitude and said, you know what? Instead of looking here, I was looking here. So looking up to the Lord, say, Lord, thank you for this morning. Thank you for this day. Thank you that my kids that they are able to cry, that they are able to throw a fit, because there's some parents that don't have kids right now. There's some parents that their kids are so injured that they can't make a noise. So thank you, Lord, for that. You can find gratitude in everything, even when you got a little child screaming her head off at you. It's not easy. So, well, hey, let's take a brief break. We're going to have Rick's Top 10 today, too, but we're going to keep rocking and rolling because we're going to have Brandon on here for about a 10 or 15-minute segment. So we'll step aside. We'll take a break as we continue promoting the good here in Huntsville, brought to you by
Tomorrow's Promise.
Tomorrow's Promise, Montessori Schools, because there is a promise, not only today,
but tomorrow.
But tomorrow there's there's a better promise tomorrow.
It's God's promise.
That's right. We'll take a break. 28 years of serving this county. We'll step aside. We'll take a break. Stay with us. More to come. Comment in. Let us know you're out there. We'd love to hear from you. This is Good Morning Huntsville. We'll be right back after this. Stay with us.
At Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools, we're not just a place where children pass the time. We're not a daycare. We're a child care center focused on growth, learning, and discovery. Every day, children engage in meaningful activities that build confidence, independence, and a love for learning. From reading and math to social and practical life skills, our students are active participants in their development. Ready to give your child something more? Visit tomorrowspromise.info and discover what makes our school different. Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools. Education you can trust.
Hey friends, this is Rob Hipp, and I'm here to talk about a true expert in the real estate world. Let me introduce you to my good friend, Terry Coleman of the Coleman Realty Group.
With 33 years in the business, I've dedicated my life to making your real estate dreams come true. Specializing in residential properties, I serve Walker and Montgomery counties, from Spring to Trinity and areas all around.
They call her your next door agent, and here's why.
I'm not just here to help you find a home or lease a property. I'm here to build lifelong relationships. Whether it's residential or commercial, farm or ranch listings, there's something for everyone.
Now you might wonder, what sets Terry apart from other real estate agents? Well, it's simple. She goes above and beyond for her clients, like the time she surprised a family from California with a fully decorated Christmas tree and gifts when they returned from closing. You shouldn't have to compromise on the joys of home during life-changing moments. So, if you're ready to make your real estate dreams come true, here's what you need to do.
Visit my website at myrealtorterry.com and let's make those dreams a reality.
That's Terry Coleman, your expert in all things real estate.
I'm Terry Coleman, your next door agent, and I can't wait to help you open the door to your new life.
Hi, I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
The church should be transformational. And maybe you've never been to church, or maybe life has left you feeling lost, but Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." At First Baptist Church, Huntsville, a harbor of hope, we're not trying to fit in with the world. We're here to help you step into something greater, a fresh start, a new life in Christ. Join us this Sunday at 10:45 and see what God can do in your life. Visit fbchuntsville.org. Hope is here, and we're saving a seat just for you.
Loving Jesus, loving people side by side. In this harbor of hope, we are safe inside.
All right, friends, back at it. 76 and sunny. Wind out of the south today, 91. All sunshine. Maybe a little bit of rain back in the forecast on Wednesday, but we ain't going to see 100 anytime. We're done with it. We didn't even hit 100, I don't think. Maybe 1 or 2 days this summer. I don't think it was that hot at all. But we'll have a slight chance of showers as the week goes on. Maybe a 40% chance on Wednesday or so. High of only 85. We'll get down to 83, by the way, sunny on Thursday. Going to be a nice week here to rock and roll. We do want to welcome you back in. Thanks for hanging out with us here on another edition of Good Morning Huntsville. And it's always a pleasure to have friends joining us here on the show. And sometimes we get to do things a little bit different because, we get to have guests here in the studio, which is always fun. But sometimes the guests live, an hour away, and they have kids, and it's probably hard for them to drive to Huntsville and let us know what's going on. And so this morning, I have a really, in fact, one of my first employees I ever had when I had my IT company. We grew up together since we were, I want to say probably junior high, maybe even before that. But he's an incredible young man, someone that has proudly served our country. He's also served in law enforcement, done detective work as well, investigations. And he can correct me if I'm wrong, he's very humble, but I think the first year that he worked for a city in the police world, he was named the employee of the year in that city. And so I want to bring him on now. It is a good friend of mine and someone that I've been wanting to have on the show, and he's going to talk a little bit about what he's up to. It is a good friend of mine joining us this morning, none other than here you go, Brandon, Brandon Grodfrey. What's going on, Brandon? Good morning.
Good morning. How are y'all doing?
Good, buddy. Good to see you, man. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us here. Brandon, you and I chit-chat back and forth, but, lives got busy with little ones and family and all that. But, man, how have you been? What have you been up to? Did I mess up anything when I was talking about kind of your past?
No, that was, you and I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, man, we've probably known each other for, a good part of 30 years, probably.
Yikes, that's scary.
Yeah, right. I was thinking the other day, I'm like, I'm 40 already. But yeah, all the way back to Main Street, and that was our church growing up there in Georgetown. But I have spent probably the good part of since probably 2013 in investigations, whether that was with Child Protective Services or after that, I actually went into law enforcement. I was doing that full time for a while, got hurt, had to have my back fused. So I had to step away from it for a while, and thought I could get back into it full time, and went that route. And then within a year, caused some more damage to my back. So now I just kind of do it part time here and there. From a patrol perspective, but I also do investigations with the state of Texas, with provider investigations, going into group homes, looking at abuse, neglect, exploitation, stuff like that. So, but yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. I've been wanting to do it with you guys for a while, and so again, I'm very glad to be here, and I actually enjoyed y'all's conversation there in the beginning. A lot of it was kind of touching on what I'm trying to do here with Carry the Burdens.
Yeah, I want to talk about Carry the Burdens here in just a moment. Kaye, we see videos and pictures and these really good stories about, law enforcement always serving the community and rescuing things too from time to time, not just people. And Brandon, I think there was a picture or something of you rescuing a cat from a storm drain. Is that right? Can you tell me about that, man?
Yeah. Hey, it's, sometimes that was a while ago. That was when I first started.
That's when your back got hurt. That's what did the damage to your back.
Yeah.
Probably, right?
Yeah. We're going to blame that. Yeah. They'll find that cat's still around. But yeah, no, we just, that particular incident, I was riding around one day, and I kept driving by this one section. I kept hearing this cat, and I'm like, where does that sound come from? I'm like looking around for this cat, and I couldn't find it. And I finally heard it, and I was like, oh, it's coming from the storm drain. So we knew some rain was coming in. And so I'm like, okay, well, I can't just in good conscience, just kind of walk away from this. So, you know, couple of other guys that I was working with, trying to decide who's going to go down into this storm drain. And so um, the other ones were not good with tight spaces and roaches. So that was me. So I climbed in there. So yeah, it's
Well, good.
always something new, always something different.
Well, we love being here on Mondays with Kaye and Rick. You know, they have a Montessori school here. Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools, and inspiring young people just through what they do at the schools. You know, little children having the opportunity to grow up the right way. I bring all this in, and I tie it in for a reason because, Brandon, as long as I've known you, you always told me when we were kids, you said, man, I have a passion for law enforcement and serving others. And it was so neat to see you now where you're at and the journey that you've been through to be able to live out your passion. Kaye and I talk a lot about that too, and just education, how much it's important. Maybe this morning, briefly, before we talk about Carry the Burdens, just highlight a little bit about that passion and how you turned it in to your career. Because I think someone out there needs to hear that today.
Yeah, it's that's something. I mean, as you know, I was doing the Explorer program since I was 13, or I guess when I turned 13, and that was a great experience for me. And I always used to ride out with guys that I knew there in Georgetown at the police department, and I knew I always wanted to be a part of something that was bigger than myself. And you know, I joined the military. That was a short stint. I think that's kind of where a lot of my issues with my back started. And that was an early time for me, or a short stint in the military for that. And I remember being depressed when it happened. This was, you know, this was back in 2005, or actually, I'm sorry, 2006, 2007. So for me, that was kind of, you know, or as a country, that was we were just getting into the war in Iraq. And for me, that was just a very big, you know, I come from a military family background, and I really wanted to serve. And when that got cut short, I went into a depression, you know, because that's something I really felt like, you know, that I needed to do, that I wanted to do. And then I ended up going back to school. That took a while. I was in and out of school. I finally got my degree from Sam Houston. But I always joke with people that, you know, I was on the Tommy Boy program. You know, a lot of people go to school for 10 years. I'm like, yeah, they're called doctors. But I finally got that degree, and I was able to get into law enforcement. I finally, you know, was fortunate enough to have somebody, you know, my wife, that was able to support me, and came back and did that. And the same kind of thing. Man, when I started working law enforcement, I was like, this is a dream job. You know, I was like, this is, people talk about, oh, I can go to work every day and it doesn't feel like work. And I always thought like, well, you know, I have no idea what that is. But when I got into law enforcement, that's exactly what it was. I loved going to work. I mean, if I was sick, I would still go to work. I mean, you wouldn't be able to. It was hard to keep me from it, and that's good and bad. But when I ended up and I got hurt and had to have all these back surgeries, and I had to step away from law enforcement full time. Again, it was kind of it was this cycle again that I was going into this depression, because I didn't know what I was supposed to do. Law enforcement investigations, that's just always, it's always been what I've known. And it was a scary time for me. I wasn't happy with what I was doing. You know, I was just kind of going along, and that was one of my biggest fears was, I don't want to just spend the next, you know, 40 years working in a job that I don't like, you know, that I'm just going to make a paycheck, because we spend so much time at work that, you know, I wanted to be happy with what I was doing. And when I was working at the agency that I'm at part-time now, when I was there full time, I worked nights, and I was rolling through one of the cemeteries one night, making sure people not out there up to no good. And I just started looking at a lot of these headstones, and I'm seeing the dates and the years of people's lives, and I'm curious because I love hearing people's testimonies. So a big thing for me was I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, they were born here, and then this was their death. So you may or may not have heard it before, but it's how did they live their dash?
Yeah.
So how are they living? Like, what was their life like? Were they a believer? And I just started, some of the ones I was able to look up. There's a few young men out there that were casualties of the war, and you just always kind of wonder, how they lived, how they impacted other people, and that's when I started getting this idea for carry the burdens. And carry the burdens, right? Good. In Galatians 6:2, it says, "Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you fulfill the law of Christ." And that was always something for me, and because I was always kind of feeling, I had that burden with me. And it's like I want to do something. I want to do something impactful. I don't feel like I'm doing that. After I got out of law enforcement full time, and so that's kind of where the idea was kind of born for carry the burden. So I said, hey, let's start a page. I'm going to start a Facebook page. Let's see if we can get this. And the idea behind it is to reach out to people, and eventually I want to start a podcast, kind of like with what you're doing, and being able to sit down and talk to people and just have people come on from all different walks of life and just hear their testimony. Because I think a lot of people, what happens is they get when we are going through something, we feel like we're the only person that's going through that.
Yep.
And we forget that there's so many other people out there that are going through the same thing. And it's people that we can lean on. We have something in common, and we can uplift each other. Um, and like I said in Galatians 6:2, right? It's fulfill by carrying the burdens, fulfilling the law of Christ. And then, you go John 13:34, the law of Christ, this new command I give you, love one another. And that's pretty much where the concept was born.
Well, Brandon, I think it's incredible, man, because your journey has been a lot. You've been through a lot. I've been your friend. I've been able to witness firsthand, not everything, but some things that you've had to go through. And I remember you going through that depression. But your faith has played such a tremendous role in your life. And now it's cool to see how you've culminated all of these experiences, because you talked about testimonies, right? Everybody has a testimony to share. You've used your testimony to be an impact on others. And now, starting this group and trying to help people. There's been a lot of burden on your life is what I'm getting at. And you've been able to find a way through that. What are kind of your plans? I know you talked about maybe having a podcast, but really, what do you want to see from this page? I'm going to invite people to follow it. Just go to tinyurl.com/carry the burdens. We've set up a short link. Again, tinyurl.com/carry the burdens. But maybe here we got about 3 more minutes. Just kind of what's your vision, and what would you like people to receive from this?
I would, I want people to be able to have a space where um, they can feel that they're not alone, that it doesn't matter what we're going through in life, that we can still, that we can walk alongside one another and help carry each other's burdens. Um, I maybe it's a bad thing. I don't have some huge vision right now for it. I think I've just, in my mind, I'm thinking kind of just small, and just want people to, um, just want people to feel like they belong, or that someone cares about them. That's another thing that I saw in law enforcement, and that I've seen kind of a lot over the years, is just um, the rate of suicide in young people is just it's alarming. And I think a lot of that plays into what y'all were talking about earlier before I came on, just the technology always being plugged in. Um, and again, I don't want to get too political, obviously on y'all's page, and that's what carry the burdens. We don't want to get involved in politics because essentially what it is, it's about God, right? And that's why we're trying to get people. But I think what a lot of the world witnessed with Charlie Kirk, those are things that people don't normally see. You have certain professions that deal, and certainly with law enforcement, you see man's inhumanity against man. And I think for a lot of people in those fields, they become, in a way, desensitized to that. But to have it all over the place, I mean, we haven't seen, something that big in a while. And I really think, again, that's another thing that you touched on, Rob, was just seeing. I think we are in a new spiritual revival, and I think the last time, correct me if I'm wrong, but we haven't seen this since the 60s or 70s with the Jesus movement, and I think it's coming full circle again with the way that everything's going on in this world. And again, I know people come from different political sides, and people kind of carry burdens from, maybe things that they believe on the political side, but that's not what we're about at Carry the Burdens. It's, we're not about politics. It's walking along. It's telling people that, that you're loved, and that there is a way in Christ. Christ, he never promised that we wouldn't have trouble, but the victory's already been won. So that's that's where we want to go. And like I said, with that podcast, I would love to do something like that. I always tell people I used to be tech savvy a long time ago, and technology just ran off without me. So that's something that I have to learn. But obviously, and this Carry the Burdens is something that I've kind of haven't put a lot into for a while now. But over the past couple of months, it's been, God's just been laying heavy on my heart that people need this. So I'm going to step out in faith and trust Him that He's going to take care of it, and we're just going to start putting one foot in front of the other and see what happens.
Well, amen, man. Brandon, I think you got a tremendous opportunity to reach so many people through this. People are looking for something right now in the midst of this revival. People are looking for something to grab onto. And we all know as Christians that's a relationship with Jesus Christ. That's what people are ultimately hungry for. And I believe that this is going to be a huge deal. And I see it as a way to really help a lot that have served and people that are in law enforcement as well, Brandon, because that's your background. Well, hey, man, I'm going to have you on again sometime. I want you to share your testimony. We don't have time for that today, but just want you to know we love you, man. We appreciate you, and thank you for your service, not only in the military. I know that was cut short due to some health things, but even through that, continuing to serve and being in our communities. And I brought you on, too, because you're a product of Sam Houston State University right here in Huntsville, Texas. So, hey, we love you, brother. Have a blessed day, all right, man?
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
See you, Brandon.
Bye.
Yeah, just an incredible. I'm so thankful, and thank y'all for allowing me to bring Brandon on today. For all of the folks watching here this morning, I like to have guests in studio. Brandon though lives the Katy area, and so it's hard for him to get over. He's got three children actually now, I believe, and so it's hard for him to travel. But he hit a couple of things there, Kaye, that I wanted to really briefly. I know we got to go. We're going to do real quick Kaye's mindset too. We'll transition into that, but. He mentioned just the burdens that people have. We all have burdens, Kaye. And I truthfully believe that people are just looking for somewhere to offload that. And what a better way to offload that than on a relationship with the Lord, because He's going to carry those burdens for you.
Yeah.
So
He's always there.
Well, Kaye, I wanted to transition. We're going to keep it right here. We're not going to take a break, but it is Monday. It is Kaye's Monday Mindset, by the way. It used to be Wednesday Wisdom. Kaye, I've already published some things on our website, So if people go to the website, they get a little preview. But now they get to officially hear it from the lady herself. Kaye, what do you got for us today on Kaye's Monday Mindset?
So you know, this is a pretty smart lady.
Oh, yeah, incredibly.
So I'm in charge of how I feel today. Every morning I get to decide how I will show up in the world. Some days are hectic, some are calm, but no matter what's swirling around me, one truth remains. I am in charge of how I feel today. Today I'm choosing peace. Peace doesn't mean everything is perfect. It means I'm giving myself permission to breathe deeply, let go of what I cannot control, and focus on what truly matters. It's a choice to respond instead of react, to listen more than I speak, and to bring calm instead of chaos. So as today unfolds, I will carry peace with me into my words, my actions, and my heart. And when challenges arise, I will remind myself peace is always an option, and today that's the one I choose.
Wow. Yeah, choose that today. Choose peace today. And I expanded a little bit, Kaye, for your article. We put it together, and there was some research that you provided that backed it as well, and I put it on here. But how do you practice? You read some of it. How do we practice choosing peace? And I think there's some steps here that a little bit of research, and we tied it into this. A 1-minute reframe. Think about this, a 1-minute reframe. Write down a stressful thought and ask, what is another maybe accurate way to see this? What's another way that I can see this? Reappraisal reduces stress and controlled studies. 6 breaths at 6 per minute. Think about that.
That's a long breath.
No, inhale for 5 seconds. Exhale for 5 seconds. 6 cycles get you to a minute. There's something in that. The pace is shown to support relaxation. Another one today, if you want to choose peace, is the 4-7-8 when anxiety spikes. So think about it. You got a little anxiety, 4-7-8. You feeling it, Rick?
I don't know what 478 is.
It's an area code.
Unless it's 19.
It's a New York area code. No, I'm just kidding. 4-7-8. Inhale 4 seconds. Hold for 7. Exhale for 8. 4-7-8. Just 4 seconds. Hold for 7. Exhale for 8. There's trials that report anxiety reductions with this technique. So another breathing exercise. 15 minutes of green. I like this one, Kaye. You'll like this one. Step outside to a line of trees. We got trees all over the place. Go to the National Forest here.
We are a lucky person that way.
A courtyard or a park. If you cannot go outside, look at nature photos or visualize a favorite outdoor spot.
Do you know there's children growing up that have never walked in the grass?
Wow.
Barefoot?
No. You never even think about that. 3 lines of gratitude also. Here's one. List 3 specific things you are thankful for and why. That has been shown to consistently boost a mood.
Yeah, if you start off your day with listing 3 things you're grateful for, it'll set your tone for the day too.
You know, we talk about these things all the time on the show, gratitude, and like I said earlier, it all ties in. I love how everything ties back in because the days that I've been sour or negative are the days that I don't acknowledge all that, Kaye. It's the days that I allow this world to infiltrate me, and then guess what? My peace is gone. Mm-hmm. That's really good today. Thank you for that. I needed that. And it's good every day. We talk about a lot of the similar things, but you know what? It's just like advertised, top of mind. I think every day that we talk about this, hopefully, my goal, my goal for this show is not only to uplift our community and uplift all of you, but it is to repeat some of these things so that you will start to take in. And, you know, after a year, you're going to be like, Rob, I'm tired of hearing this. I'm just going to start doing it. That's the goal, right? Will you hush up about certain things if I start doing it? No, we're going to keep doing it because we need to lift each other up.
When I leave here, I get to try to practice what
the 4-7-8, right? I like that one's easy to remember. 4-7-8 for some reason. The 4-7-8. Maybe we can do the 9-3-6 instead because that's our area code. What is it? Inhale for 9 seconds, hold it for 3, and exhale for 6. I bet it may work.
Yeah, they'll give you hypoxia. No, what's the other one? Hyperoxygenation.
Yeah, something. You'll have to have a brown
see
paper
people
set.
passing out all over the place.
Man, that guy's got the 9-3-6 method down. Well, all right. Well, hey, let's keep it right here because I know we got to. I know normally we transition in, but it is my favorite time. My second favorite time, my first favorite time is Kaye's Monday Mindset, which, by the way, that article is up on the website now. We published it and it popped up this morning at 7 a.m. So you can go read the latest edition of Kaye's Monday Mindset. We've got a couple on there now, and we're going to continue to build that under our guides and features. But, Rick, here it is from the 936, trying to practice the 478.
And
that
6 for 6.
Was it 478? I've already forgot.
478.
It's time. Boy, this is a great one today. I've been looking forward to this one, Kay, because no one
I'm waiting
knows
to
this
see
stuff.
what voice he uses.
Hello, Ricola. It's time for Rick's Top 10. Rick,
And
what do you got for us today?
the top 10 ways to celebrate National Girls' Night Out.
Wait. Do you know this?
Do I know what?
The National Girls' Night Out. I mean, how do you celebrate it?
I don't know.
We're about to find
I had
out.
4 sisters. So.
All right, ladies, listen up. This is
They
just
locked
for
him
you.
in the bedroom to celebrate.
Locked me out of the house.
We didn't want to be one-sided on this show, so we're giving this is for the ladies
This
today.
is for the ladies today. Should I use a high voice? This is for the ladies today.
Well, for that part, now the regular voice.
Number 10. Order appetizers for dinner, because who needs entrees when you've got bottomless nachos? I wonder why they never make topless nachos.
I have no idea.
Okay. Number 9. Try
Because it's
karaoke.
girls, not boys.
Yeah, and the nachos, if they didn't have any toppings, would be pretty gross.
They would.
Yeah, just
chips.
a regular chip.
Number 9. Try a karaoke bar or remind the world why you didn't win American Idol. That would be you and me.
Yeah, that song would be, this one's definitely not for the girls.
Yeah.
This one's not for the girls.
Number 8. Start the night with a group photo and then immediately spend 45 minutes choosing the right filter. Does that sound like something girls do?
Probably teenage girls, I would assume.
Yeah.
Like younger, college age.
They would be putting all the Snapchat features on them.
That's it, yeah.
I don't know how to do that.
Little snappy.
Number 7. Go bowling. Nothing says girls' night like rented shoes and gutter balls. What about rented balls and gutter shoes?
Yeah, I don't know.
Number 6. Plan a game night. But watch out. Friendships have ended over Uno. Number 5. Hit a dessert cafe and prove that, yes, cheesecake can be a full meal.
I'll agree to that one. I'll come hang out with the ladies.
Number 4. Take a dance class together. Bonus points if it's something none of you can pronounce. Like what?
I don't know. I don't know any dance classes that you can't pronounce.
Salsa.
There's
Maybe
got to be
the merengue.
The merengue. There's got to be hard dances that you can't pronounce.
I
would expect
Some sort of Russian dance. You know?
I would expect Rick to know these.
I didn't know. I don't know any dances. Number 3, movie marathon. Preferably all the classics you loved in high school. Don't forget the popcorn with extra butter. Yeah. Okay. Number 2, book a spa evening. Face mask, laughter, and cucumber water for everyone. I like it. And the number 1 way to celebrate National Girls' Night Out, stay in your pajamas, order pizza, and call it Girls' Night In.
There it is.
That's it, the top 10.
From the expert himself, Rick's Top 10 on how to celebrate.
The expert, huh?
There really wasn't. I mean, it was National Centenarian Day also.
I'm getting closer.
Should have did how to spend your 100th birthday. That would have been
Yeah.
a good one. By the way, some of those dances that you can't pronounce, we'll have to publish that letter because publish it later. I have no idea. I don't know of
Were
any.
some of them Russian dances?
Probably, but I don't know any. I don't know any dances. I'm horrible. I've never liked dancing.
What's the one that you squat down and you kick your legs out?
Yeah.
What's that one called?
I don't know.
I'm here.
I hear Bolshevik in my mind, but I don't know what that's the actual name of the dance.
That sounds like something at one of those, like German festivals or something, right?
Yeah.
Maybe, or Scottish festivals. Tum, 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 tum. We'll get that next week. You can do it on Friday, Rick, for our
You want me to demonstrate?
Yeah, on our Friday special edition show. It's Rick doing the.
Oh, are you going to have a Rick's Top 10 on Friday?
No. It would have to be Billy's top 10.
Well, Rick can come on. He's part of the dumpling gang. He's one of the 4 little pudgy,
Pudgy guys in your
pudgy,
dumpling there.
Pudgy buddies over there.
You'll have to pre-look up Friday and come up with something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come armed and ready to go. All right.
I will.
All right. Well, hey, it's been a great morning. Kaye, any final comments? Thank y'all for hanging out. I know you got to get rolling here briefly. Hey, we're going to get out of here early today, Kaye, so I made sure of that. But any final comments? It's been a great day. You know, I wanted to reflect today. I know we've covered a lot, but it really is a day of reflection. You know, I'm so grateful for this community. The Muster Fest happened this weekend. Touch a Truck happened this weekend. A lot of families were out. And, you know, this whole takeaway from last week for me is I want to be a better husband. I really do. I love my wife so much, and I love seeing you guys because of y'all's connection, and that inspires me too. But hearing there's a lot of things that I need to do better as a husband.
There's nothing I can do better.
I already know. You wrote the book on it. Like it says The Perfect Husband by Rick Boehning. And it's pretty, I mean, it's 1,000 pages.
Is it?
Yeah,
Most
it
of
is.
them are blank.
Yeah, I know. But no, I really do.
Find the right wife.
Yeah.
That's my goal this week. You know, I want to focus for me on how I can be a better husband to my wife, because I've gotten so wrapped up in going to work and doing the things that I need to do every day to keep a roof over our family's head that sometimes I forget about the small things that are most important. Erica Kirk had shared a story about her husband every Saturday wrote her a love note. Did that forever.
Wow.
And I think about, you know, I told Bridge, I said, you turn this off because you're going to hate me, you know, after this thing, because all these things, and I'm not trying to compare, I'm really not,
Yeah.
But seeing the way that Charlie was with his wife has inspired me to really focus on being a better husband, to being more present. You know, we came back to Huntsville so I could be present, and I feel like I'm busier than I was when I was up in Fargo, to be honest. And I've got to tap the brakes a little bit and know that the Lord will provide, and I'm not worried about that. We get in this mindset of, man, I got to keep going. Otherwise, how am I going to pay the bills? And I fell into that trap, and I think millions of Americans get into that trap, and we have to take a step back. We can't sit around. We've got to work. We've got to get up, but we got to be productive with our day and make things happen during the day so that we can spend time with our families in the evenings.
There's a talk show host on around 5 o'clock. He talks about, I think his name is Alexander Hamilton III, and he talks about leaving his part-time job to go to his full-time job. And that his career is his part-time job and his family is his full-time job.
That's it.
Says it every day.
I love that. It is. It's our family's God first, family, and work should be in there, but it should be towards the bottom.
Yeah.
So, well, hey.
Unfortunately, it's hard to eat on just love.
I was talking to somebody too yesterday about leadership, and I don't want to feed the, what's the old, like, feed the bear or whatever, but I had some comment. I'd delete that stuff. I posted things on my Facebook that were purely non-political, and people wanted to make it political, and I'm not going to allow that, because we need to focus on the positives right now. It's not that I'm denying that certain things are happening, because there's a lot of negative. There's bad things that happen in this world. But I don't want that stuff on my Facebook, and I don't care. People, well, it's a public platform, you put it out. That's right. But I also get to control who posts on my page and not.
Yep.
And if I see any of that stuff, I delete it, because the things that I have posted are not political, and people make assumptions because you think one way that you're automatically 100% for stuff. And I'll be first to say there's things that Trump does that I don't agree with.
He's not my ideal president.
There's things that he does. There's a lot of things that I do. There's more that I do agree with, but there's a lot of things that he don't. But the problem is, once again, we're saying that, here we go again, compartmentalizing people and saying, oh, well, if you think that, you're over here, and if you think that, you're over here. How about we start thinking about what God thinks about us, and that we are all created in the image of Christ?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that we can't ignore the problems that are here on this earth, because there's a lot of them. But I think we need to focus here first. And the comment that I made, you know, there was something about leadership and the leadership from the top. And I said, you know what? True leadership actually starts at the bottom. I was taught that, and it really got me to start thinking differently. That if we want our leaders to be better people, then we've got to start being better people ourselves sometimes. And I've learned that. And it was a book that I read about that. And it was like leadership from the bottom. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. But I started thinking about it in a way that if we want people to do better, then maybe all of us, including myself, we've got to find ways to do better, because that empowers other people to do better. And if we could just find a way to come together, man.
Yeah,
and it's
there's
only
a book called The Leader with No Title. Talks about how the cleaning lady at the hotel was a leader.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. That's perfect, Kay. And here in ministry, it's funny because we have, like, I guess you could call, I don't want to say title, but we have job descriptions. Like I'm our community outreach and media minister. But guess what? That doesn't mean that if I see a beer can from the 12th Street bar in front of our church that I'm not going to pick it up.
Yeah. We have some people that got blinders on and they can't do anything outside their job title. It just drives me nuts.
I come over here Sundays before service, and there's because at night there's some cars lined up around the corner. They park over here, and I'm like, I was joking. I said, well, they must really be Baptists. They got some empty beer cans over there in the front of the church. But what I'm getting at is that, a title is just a title. It's what we believe and what we stand for truly defines who we are. And that's my challenge this morning. As Kate talked about peace and Monday mindset, what brings you peace? And secondly, what do you stand for? And be bold and be rooted and have a solid foundation and watch what the Lord will do in your life. And it's not easy. People are going to attack you. They're going to attack you at every angle. They're going to come at you, and they're going to say hateful things that make no sense. You're going to get a random message that you have no idea what it is and don't know who it is.
Why you got it.
And why you got it. And you just have to, that's the 1% that you've got to pray for. That's a whole nother concept too. Pray for those 1% that come at you. Pray for those people. And then move along.
Or if possible, open up a dialogue and see what the problem is.
Yep. Well, hey, good Monday, friends. We hope it gets you in the right mindset to start off here on a Kay's Monday Mindset. Go to our website, read more about finding peace and bringing that into your life this morning. And we'll be back at it tomorrow. Going to be a fun week. We got a lot lined up. And, of course, mark your calendars. Friday, come join us live at the Cafe Texan.
I'll be there.
For our 600th extravaganza.
Do I need to bring a cake?
If you want to. Y'all brought a cake one time.
For your 100th show.
You did. I remember that. You brought it. It was wonderful. We ate it really fast, and it was gone immediately. And it took me 2 years to get rid of it, so thank you. That'll wrap it up. Hey, tomorrow's promise, I want to remind you, if you're looking for early childhood education, there's no place better. I mean that. Our children go there. They're thriving. They're doing awesome. Go to Tomorrow's Promise. Let them give you a tour of their facilities. 3 locations to serve you here in Huntsville. Great staff. We love them. And we love everything that y'all stand for, what y'all represent. Go to their website, tomorrowspromise.info, for more information. For Rick Boehning and Kaye Boehning, I'm Rob Hipp, reminding you this morning that we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We need each other. So please provide a word of encouragement, lend a hand of support. I promise somebody out there needs you. Until then, good morning, Huntsville. God bless. We'll see you back at 7:30. So long. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye. Goodbye, Rob.